Hello, I'm Kevin Mills. Welcome to Right to Speak. This is the show where we are going to cover topics and subjects that you're not going to see on mainstream TV. And the reason we do this is because I personally feel like we need the truth. I feel like we need to have balance. I feel like people need to be informed. They need to know what's going on. And sadly, propaganda media is only showing one side. They're only showing you the side of the left. Now, I don't want to say that I am pro right, but recently the extreme left has pushed me very right. So I probably do lean more right. So a lot of the truth and the facts that I do show are going to be more pro right just because we don't hear about them in our mainstream media today. Our propaganda media does not cover the truth about the right. If something good happens, it's never reported. If a truth or something is out there that can be twisted and made into something else, it happens. We've seen it over and over and over again. And unfortunately, for those people who are watching and glued to and brainwashed by the propaganda media, they don't see when the truth comes out because propaganda media doesn't report on it. They don't see when they have to admit that they're wrong because they do it in the middle of the night in a short, quick little apology. And unfortunately, America is being brainwashed by propaganda media because they are not getting the full story. I unfortunately don't have the same reach as propaganda media, but I am absolutely going to do everything that I can to try and share a message that uh, just says pay attention for yourself. Do your own research, do your own homework. Don't let some talking head, and that includes me, tell you what to think. Think for yourself, but think for yourself based upon the facts. I've said this before on this show, and I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to say it again in the future. If you have a good heart and you have a good mind and you know the truth and you know the facts, I think you will make the right choice. You don't have to choose what I choose. You don't have to think how I think. I want you to make the right choice based upon what you believe the right choice is. Now, let's jump into our topic for today, and that's Joe Biden. This is a older clip, and I don't say when I say older, this is from a couple of weeks ago. There are plenty of these clips out there. This was one that was easy for me to pull up really quick, and it demonstrates exactly what I am wanting to talk about today. So let's listen to Joe Biden.
1.2 billion. So you go ahead and you stack spaghetti sauce at a store and in a supermarket. You control the guy or the woman who brings out the carts on a forklift. What happened?
That is a good question, Joe. What happened? Let's listen to this again because I have no idea what Joe said. I have no clue what this man just said.
1.2 billion.
1.2
so you go
billion.
ahead and you stack spaghetti sauce at a store and in a supermarket.
1.2 billion. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that, and I have not seen this whole clip. This is just the section of this clip. And this is a real valid clip. It has not been edited. 1.2 billion. Honestly, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's say he's talking about something else. Unfortunately, I think he may be talking about something he doesn't know about, but let's give him the benefit of that. Stacking spaghetti sauce. So what's this transition? You're stacking spaghetti sauce at a store or at a supermarket. This is what I'm following so far. 1.2 billion. You're that person, that man or that woman. You're stacking spaghetti sauce at that supermarket or at the store.
You control the guy or the woman who brings out the carts on a forklift.
You control the guy who runs the person who brings out the carts on a forklift. I'm at a loss. What does that have to do with stacking spaghetti sauce? What does that have to do with this whole chain of thought? So You're that person who's stacking spaghetti sauce at the store, at the supermarket. You're that person who controls that person who runs the forklift, who runs the forklift, who springs out, who stacks the carts and brings them out on the forklift.
What happened? One.
Good question. What happened? What happened in America that made the Democratic Party think that Joe Biden was a valid individual to nominate for a presidential candidate? I'm sorry, I'm going to have a little bit of mercy and compassion on Joe Biden. I'm not his biggest fan. This man has medical issues. I have heard people try to defend him, say that he has overcome his stammering and muttering and everything else. He's had issues with it. He's worked hard to overcome it. Maybe we can hear a little bit of that in his speech, but time and time again, and in this speech also, he clearly has no idea what he is talking about. This is somebody who the Democratic National Party is telling us is going to be a good candidate to run our country. This is somebody who they think, or they want us to believe, is going to be the person who makes a difference in America. What does that say about the Democratic Party? Do they respect you? Do they respect their Democratic voters? That they believe that their Democratic voters are going to just jump on board with this? That they have brainwashed them to the extent that they're going to say, you know what, Joe Biden, he's the anti-Trump, we're going to vote for him. Sadly, millions of Americans are planning on voting for Joe Biden. They have already filled out their ballots. If they haven't, they already plan to fill out their ballots and mail them in or go in person to strike Joe's name at the polls. And we'll talk about mail-in voter fraud on a different show, but not even getting into that right now. How many Americans have been brainwashed to believe that Joe Biden is a viable individual, a viable politician to run for president of the United States? Let's get past his obvious medical issues. He has dementia. I don't know what his issues are, but somebody in his family should have pulled the plug on this a long time ago. They didn't. Let's get into his political record. Joe Biden has been a career politician. He has been a politician for nearly 50 years. In his 50 years as a politician, Joe Biden, many of you may not know this, has run for president before. In the past, Joe Biden ran for president. It's true. He dropped out when he was caught plagiarizing his speeches. Yes, that's right. Joe Biden was giving plagiarized speeches to national audiences and literally did not think he was going to get caught. He got caught. He dropped out of the presidential race that particular time. Joe Biden has been caught lying about his academic and political record on tape over and over and over again. You can easily search this for yourself. If you're just hearing about this now, please do. In Joe Biden's nearly 50 years as a politician, the only thing he has accomplished have been racist policies. We put policies into place that caused more Black Americans to be arrested and serve longer prison terms because they were Black. I'm not making this up. Joe Biden literally pushed against busing, saying he did not want his children to grow up in an ethnic jungle. Joe Biden has said other choice racist comments as well. Most recent one being, if you ain't Black, or you know how it goes. I'm bumbling like Joe Biden. You ain't Black if you don't vote for me. That is what Joe Biden said. We're going to cut that part out. His most recent being, you ain't Black if you don't vote for me. Okay, so Joe Biden gets to decide now whether you're Black or whether you're not. In his career as a politician, in his time as vice president of the United States, Joe Biden used his position and his influence to get his son Hunter into the Navy, where he was promptly kicked out because of drug violations. He blackmailed the Ukrainian government and a Ukrainian gas company to get his son Hunter a high-paying position that he knew nothing about, had no qualifications for whatsoever, and bragged about doing it on live television. He used his position to get his brother, who had absolutely no construction or contracting experience, a job building government buildings in Iraq right after the war. This is who the Democratic Party is telling you to vote for. If we're looking at a track record, and this is indicative of what we can expect in the future, when we're looking at an investment, okay, let's talk about investments, because I'm a real estate investor. When we look at investment, we say, what is the history of this investment or this type of investment been? That way we know what to expect for the future. Our future is an investment. The person who we elect into office as the president of the United States is an investment in our future. If you think that Joe Biden is a good investment based upon what you know, based upon his past history, based upon his medical issues, then you are clearly brainwashed. If you are watching this show, and I don't believe that we have anybody who are pro-Biden enthusiast, rabid enthusiast watching, if you are watching the show and you are supporting Biden, please do your homework. Please find the truth for yourself. I believe that if you have a good heart, if you have a good mind, if you want what is best for you, for your family, for America, then you'll make the right choice. You don't have to choose what I choose. You don't have to think what I think. You don't have to vote the way I vote. I want you to choose for yourself. I want you to make the right choice. And I believe if you have a good heart and you have a good mind and you're willing to use it and you're willing to see the truth, then you'll make the right choice. Thank you for joining me on Right to Speak. I'm Kevin Mills. We'll be back tomorrow. Have a good night.